Hey folks, Ira here. I hope you've had a great Sunday. Thanks for tuning in for the Earthquake Report. Today is April the 17th, 2016. Today is also known as Bat Appreciation, blah blah blah, National Cheese Ball, and Pet Owners Independence Day. Yep. Before we review today's earthquake data, let's back up to yesterday evening. Moments after we uploaded our earthquake report, we received notification that Ecuador was hit by a massive 7.4 earthquake. After a few moments, we learned that the magnitude had in fact been upgraded to a 7.8 by the USGS. Hours later, we began to hear of widespread damage, injuries, and death. This morning, we woke up to a clear image as to the extent of the devastation. The death toll currently sits at 238, and it is expected to rise. At the time of writing this, it has been reported that 1,500 people were also injured. As you can imagine, along with the loss of life, buildings were destroyed, bridges collapsed, roads have been damaged, landslides have been experienced, and water and power have been cut in several locations. Authorities are now in the process of removing people from downed buildings, and the cleanup process is on hold until rescue operations have been completed. A state of emergency is in effect for 6 provinces, and Ecuador's Interior Ministry ordered all entertainment outlets in affected areas to be closed for the next 72 hours. The immensely popular Ecuadorian Soccer Championship has been postponed, and all mobile operators are allowing free text messages for customers to reach out to loved ones. The internet has been buzzing with reports of strange lightning that was experienced prior to the earthquake. We have all the images available for you now. Check that out. If you haven't heard about this, well, you aren't missing anything, as the latest reports indicate that this was purely a hoax and that the images being used were from a 2014 meteorite in Argentina. It just goes to show people are funny, aren't they? If you have the opportunity, please consider donating blood and or money. Along with prayers and thoughts, it does make a difference. Making a monetary donation is easy via the Red Cross. You can send a check via snail mail, call, or even text. That, in my opinion, is the most convenient method. For those interested in this, all you need to do is text Red Cross, that is one word, to 90999. Before moving on, if you have yet to view videos streaming out of Ecuador, we have you covered. You'll find highlights at the end of this report. Looking at the data, we have clocked in 194 earthquakes so far. The strongest earthquake to strike the globe today was a 5.8 that struck Tonga. The remaining magnitude 5s, with the exception of a 5.1 that struck the South Sandwich Islands, were aftershocks in Ecuador. Speaking of aftershocks, they have experienced 9 in total today, the most intense there being a 5.6. The average magnitude is currently sitting at a 4.9. Earthquake activity in and around South America has been moderate today. Chile has clocked in 2, a 4.8 and a 4.4. Central America has been active as well. El Salvador was struck with a 4.8. And earlier today, Champerico, Guatemala, experienced yet again another earthquake. This was a 4.5. If we skim across the Pacific, we'll find that Hawaii has clocked in 4 earthquakes, all of which fell within the magnitude 2 scale. The most intense to strike was a 2.4 at the volcano. If we look at the western limb of the Ring of Fire, we see that Lambasa, Fiji, was shaken by a 4.9. Indonesia has experienced 4 today, with the strongest being a 4.7. With the pressure being released in South America, it appears as though some relief has been provided to our friends in Japan. Only 2 aftershocks have been experienced thus far, a 4.7 in Yuto and a 4.5 in Sakura. Finishing out the magnitude 4 earthquakes, we head to Greece, where they experienced a notable 4.4 earthquake, and to Greenland, where they were struck by a 4.5. In total, we clocked in 20 magnitude 4 earthquakes. Now that is wild. If we look to the states, we'll see that Alaska has been busy. They have clocked in 52 thus far, the average magnitude in the last frontier state being a magnitude 1.7. Washington has experienced 4, all of which struck Amboy, the strongest there being a 1.3. Oregon, on the other hand, has been very active. 10 have been registered thus far, 4 of which struck Lakeview. The most intense there and within the state was a 1.4. The remaining 6 earthquakes, which, by the way, averaged no more than a magnitude 0.8, struck Mount Hood Village. That's interesting, as there has been a lot of talk lately around the possibility of this potentially active stratovolcano awakening. California remains quiet for the most part. Only 69 have clocked in thus far. The most intense was a 2.8 that struck Mammoth Lakes. The majority of today's earthquakes in the sunny state have fallen along the San Jacinto Fault Zone. If we head east, we'll see that Littleborn, Missouri continues to experience movement. This, as you know, falls right along the New Madrid seismic zone. Outside of these areas, the United States has been quiet. The earthquake swarms in Utah have ended for the time being. Montana, Idaho, and Wyoming have all been silent. Oklahoma has only experienced 3, the strongest there being a 3.0 in Helena. And that is it for the earthquake report. Make certain to comment below and provide us with your thoughts on today's events and what may or may not be in store for us going forward. Make certain to like and subscribe, share if you feel inclined. Also, if you like the social media thing, you can link to us via the standard allotted social sites in the description. We'll end this report with a collection of videos streaming out of Ecuador. Have a great night, folks. Hoorah!